Here's how you know when you're old as shit. I am being targeted.
I know.
Well, I was setting up the equipment and everything, right? So I got Pandora playing, it's playing my little top 40 hits, and I'm just like boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom with, Nicki Minaj and all that stuff. The commercials aren't Forever 21. Yay, come on in and take a look at our size twos. No, this commercial, are you suffering from painful sex during your menopausal years?
Ew, no.
I swear to God.
Yikes.
I'm like, why are they targeting me? That really set me off.
Oh, God.
And the woman was like, well, I just kind of power through it.
Oh my God, no. The worst is when you open up your mailbox and it's like, hey, AARP has great discounts.
We've got a rate for you.
Come join us.
Here's your card.
I'm like, excuse me, I'm not 65. Hello?
You don't have to just power through it.
TMI.
And just because I am of a certain age, 50, which I absolutely celebrate, I fucking love being 50.
You know what I like about it?
What do you like about it?
And it's taken me a while to wrap my head around this, that you're still young enough to join the party, so to speak, in the conversation. We have one foot in the...
Don't say grave.
No, I'm saying like the generation that was, our parents' generation, we have one foot in the youth culture, and we're in the middle. And we have the life experience of someone that's lived for half a century, and we've seen some shit.
Now I know why I was targeted. I was jacked
And I just gave you the reason. Who are Front Row Divas? With this sea of insane amounts of content.
It's not just movies anymore.
Right. And when you look at the spectrum of stuff out there, the platforms on the internet, the available things on cable, we analyze it all. And the spectrum for us is, there's super cheesy stuff that we love that's total entertainment value and we need. Whatever.
You know what my guilty pleasure is?
What's your guilty pleasure?
Supernatural.
I knew that.
I can't help it. I love Supernatural.
So you go from something like that to the full spectrum to say some highbrow, whatever, Downton Abbey situation. Okay? Mm-hmm. And everything in between. And all of the while, because we are two veterans and current industry members in film.
We are writers, directors, producers. We've both been film professors.
Actors,
even though I got drug into it. I've done locations management, directing, everything from music videos, short films, working on major films, independent films, first ADing. TV.
All forms of TV. And we did it. We are currently doing it. And we are going to continue to do it for the rest of our lives. And so having that industry insight that, but also being and talking to you like a normal person.
Right.
We want to spotlight people who are doing good works in the industry because we got a lot of bad rap recently.
Yeah.
And also we want to call out those who piss us off by not elevating the species. Okay. And you know who you are.
You know who you are. We will be talking about you later in the show. So
and
just prep.
We're super opinionated just to, let it all out there on the table.
I do not claim to be, I am just a normal woman working in this industry, living on this planet, and everything that's happening is affecting me. And I have something to say about it.
And these times are particularly challenging, confusing, enlightening, inspiring, hopeful as well. And
it's the whole Megillah, isn't it?
It's everything. And
it's everything.
And our art form of these times, let's just face it, our Netflix queue, our Amazon queue, what's on cable, TV and film have now, I truly believe, replaced books and literature, and the masses consume this art form, and we see it through our filter, and that's how we're going to do it.
There's such a deluge of media. coming at us.
A tsunami of media. And it's hard because not only do you have cable and the internet platforms, you've got social media, you've got YouTube, you've got video in every single thing. Emails.
YouTube's its own network now.
Yeah.
What is it? YouTube Red?
YouTube Red has their own programming for sure. But then everybody that we know has their own channel on YouTube and has their own show.
Including us.
Because you can. So why not?
So the other thing that I think is really important, the art that we're seeing is a reflection of artists expressing the lives that they're living.
And in times like these, and you ask, what do you mean by that? What I'm saying. The art, I think, is elevated to a really high level because people take risks. They're pissed off, or they're,
livid.
They decide to take a risk and tell a story they never have before, much like Hanna Gadsby did.
What
Nannette.
a beautiful segue. Yeah, we have got to talk about that. I try to make a point prior to watching something that I know that we're going to talk about on the show. I really try to avoid, like looking it up and seeing what other people say because it's really important for me to get it as Belle. So I came into this, I will be very honest with you. I came into this with a certain expectation, okay? And Hanna does not fall within my bailiwick of who I would look to for a comedian. I've never even heard of her.
Okay, let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
I didn't know who the hell she was.
I didn't know who she was.
I'd never heard of her. She is a woman from Australia.
Tasmania.
Tasmania. And she's done very well for herself until she had this new comedy special featured on Netflix right now. Nannette is the title. I just heard about it from people that I know on social media that said, "Hey, Lisa, have you seen this?" No, I don't even know who that is. You have got to see this. And when I have certain people tell me that, in my circle, I say, "Okay, I'm going to drop it and see it because I trust you."
Right.
Well, holy shit.
And it better be good.
Well, holy shit.
Holy shit.
Is all I have to say.
Let's just say, so my comedy, my tickle bone, my funny bone, tends to be Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, really African-American comedians because we share, that common history, that common ancestry, and that common kind of experience. So I understand the vernacular, really, really well. And I just kind of lay into it. So, I came into it like, oh, okay, she's an Australian. Okay, well, you know what? Lisa told me to watch her. So I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to look nothing up. I'm not even going to look nothing. I'm just going to go in my room and I'm going to watch this. And, like I said, so I thought that her comedy style, I figured, okay, it'll be a little wry, or maybe it will be, ironic and, very highbrow. Holy shit.
Comedy is, always a matter of personal taste, like Belle just expressed. I mean, I'm super into. I love comedians in general, on the whole, all kinds of comedians. I was raised on Saturday Night Live, and Eddie Murphy, and
I like the bodier humor.
I just do. I like physical humor.
Sarah Silverman, I love that.
We love we love to laugh, Belle and I. That's for sure. So. But, I'm always seeking out new things. And I think that what's happening right now around the world, clearly, and not just in our country, is
there's an awakening.
There's an awakening. There's a revolution. And also people are realizing, and just think about this for a moment. Now, in these sort of semi-compromising political times, our American comedians have literally taken the ball during late-night talk show hosts and just... they've gone to a serious place. I mean, look at Jimmy Kimmel.
And what's interesting is that it is our late night talk show hosts who are like, listen.
They are calling people out on their shit.
Absolutely.
Congress people, the senators, the president, you name it. And so the comedians have this sort of, who was I listening to? It was Lewis Black the other day said on Stephanie Miller on Sirius. He was saying, at first, it's like you could just, make fun of Trump. And it's like,
Right.
oh, yeah, he's crazy. No.
Right.
But then it crossed this serious line. You can't make fun of someone who's already making fun, and then but it's serious. And so there's nowhere for them to go, I think, but serious now.
But they do a brilliant job.
They sure do.
Of saying, are you looking at this, people?
Right.
Are you looking at this? Are you looking at P.T. Barnum? This is a circus.
Okay, Trevor Noah. Oh my God, he is like. I mean, they're all.
I love him
They're
so
all
much.
Stephen Colbert, Samantha Bee. They're all just. Their lambasting is just. It's just. I don't know. They've had material for years.
I feel like
I think
it's a social responsibility, and it's one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing, because we're not senators, we're not policymakers, et cetera, et cetera. We're normal, everyday citizens,
and we have a say.
We have a voice.
Well, Me Too has contributed to that for sure.
Absolutely, hugely.
I mean, look at the case of Jimmy Fallon. Okay. He, remember, at first was like, hey, I was just, had Trump on my show. They crucified him, okay? The audience has crucified him because they're trying to be jokey with the guy that had the kids in cages.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, okay, all of a sudden, Jimmy Fallon realized, wow, if I don't get on this kind of, I'm going to state my opinion, comedian bandwagon, I'm going down. His ratings plummeted.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel, boom. His baby needed a heart transplant.
Oh, my God,
Oh, my God. When he was talking about the healthcare in this industry and in our country. And I mean, ratings, boom.
Right.
So truth-telling is in right now.
And what's interesting is that, Bill Maher has been telling the truth.
Bill Maher on fire.
For a decade.
On fire.
Boy, is truth. Okay?
He is.
He's bringing truth. And now it seems to me that all of them, they've got his courage now.
Right. And
everyone's getting the courage that we didn't have before.
They feel they have a voice now. They get a following, and it's not just if you have a TV show. Their entire, comedians, a tribe of comedians on social media and Twitter especially, and Instagram that just, have massive followings for what their opinion is of something political that happened.
Exactly.
I mean, so it's crazy times. So I guess to make my point from way long ago, what I'm saying about Hanna Gadsby is, I think what's happening with the comedians is stuff is so serious right now. Shit is so serious in our lives.
It's real.
It's so real.
It's so real.
You can be self-deprecating, yes, but that only lasts for a little while, that satisfaction, I think, of telling those jokes. It's more like, you know what? She basically says, without, giving it all away, I just can't tell these jokes anymore.
Right.
And she admits that the jokes she's been telling are not the full story of her life. And so this hybridization happens where on the fly, total improv, she reveals truth about her life for the first time in front of a packed audience at the Sydney Opera House.
A packed audience.
And the audience was, crickets. They were listening, they were leaning in, and they're stunned. And when you're watching it on your little laptop in bed on Netflix, you will be too.
She talked about how she was from, that very small kind of rural Tasmanian town, and how 70% of the people in that town thought that homosexuality should be illegal. What?
Yeah.
So, but her comedy was rooted in a lot of pain.
As a lot of comedians,
Yes.
the best comedians, I'm just going to take Jim Carrey, for example, Robin Williams, they transfer their childhood pain or their traumas or whatever into the most brilliant comedy because it's all about, connection and accessibility and universality. And when you can key into that, it's funny because we all share it, right?
Yes.
And it's a collective thing.
But it was for her, it was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And here's why.
Yeah. And then she tells you.
I told you, she said the setup for a joke, right? The setup for a story is beginning, middle, and end. The setup for a joke is the beginning and the middle. You have your setup and then you have your punchline.
Right.
You guys don't know the pain that happened at the end.
Right.
And I will tell you, she's very funny.
She is.
She's really
so
funny. But then it turns on a dime and you find yourself completely enraptured. She's like, I can't make my living this way anymore because it's not the authentic me anymore. Now, the question that I have, or the thing that I found very interesting, is that she picked now.
Right.
If Hillary Clinton had been in office, would she have picked now?
That's an interesting thing to lay on the table there, Belle. I don't know. I mean, I want to say that, you know, in all of this that has happened politically, that, and especially in our industry with Harvey Weinstein and the whole Me Too movement and Time's Up and the, you know, cleaning house of all the creeps and all the different unions and Hollywood organizations and all this stuff, women feel supported. And so I thought it would go away. You know, I thought it was a passing fancy. I've been in this industry for 25 years.
Yeah, I thought it would die.
And
it would die down.
What I have endured, and what I know you've endured too, anyone who's a woman has in this industry, and let's face it, most industries.
Every industry.
But this one in particular, where we are a minority for sure, it's, you know, I just thought this is something I have to endure. And I'm going to do my work, and I'm going to be the best I can be at my work, and my work should speak for itself. But that is rare,
right.
And what you have to endure in this industry as a woman. And so I just thought, okay, Harvey, you know, is probably going to go to jail. It's disgusting. It's hideous. I feel for all these people. I hate it that it happened. But for whatever reason, it has stuck. It has crossed over to other industries. I mean, people are like just
they're on fire
aching to tell their truth. They're aching.
And I think that this administration was the genesis for it.
Oh, yeah.
Just the absolute ethical and moral outrage of what is happening in this country. And don't get it twisted, guys. We set the standard. What's happening here, everybody feels it.
It's hard when you've had to endure harassment of any kind, quid pro quo.
Assault. And it's just normalized.
Yeah, and it's
just
totally
what you put up
No,
with.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to keep it confidential of the people. But this happened last week, and you're not even you're not going to want to hear this right now. This was on a set of a major broadcast network television show in LA, and a friend of mine was on the set, and a certain person of authority saw her. Showed her around. She was, you know, taking part in visiting the set. And he grabbed her and kissed her.
Oh, Jesus.
And said, well, this is part of how it works. This is part of how it works in the industry.
Last week?
No, this was last week. And then after she expressed how she felt, left. And he offered her a job on that show. This is a person who just graduated. And I just was so appalled that happened last week. And then he felt really bad and apologized and all this stuff. But to her credit, she just said, I can't work for you because, oh my God.
Right.
Like, wow. But he said, and I'm telling you right now, this is part of how the industry works.
So in other words, they're putting forth a few sacrificial lambs to quiet everybody down. But the attitude has not changed.
It's still there.
Look, what happened at Netflix just a couple of weeks ago, where they had to get rid of that guy for using the N-word in front of the only two African-American executives, who, by the way, have both quit and gone on somewhere else.
Let's talk about Les Moomis for a second. Now we're going down this road. Who, to me, is kind of the opposite of Harvey Weinstein. I think what he did was hideous and disgusting, but the manner with which he did it, and also the clandestine, way more clandestine nature, because of, you know, he's highbrow 60 Minutes, highbrow CBS shows, all this stuff. And when you're working on 60 Minutes, the most decorated, respected news. You know, this is hard news. This isn't scripted TV that has starlets on it. This is hard news, you know, Emmy-winning stuff. When the women on there could rationalize it because they wanted their jobs so badly. It's just, my God, it's just so systemic and it's everywhere. And I just want to see that guy go down. I just want to see him go down. I want to see any person who doesn't understand that we are not your candy, okay? We're not here for the taking for you. We are equal to men. We are smart. We're hardworking. We want to do our job. All of this other shit does not belong.
Take it home to your wife.
How about that?
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that that Hanna said when she was ending her show, which just, I mean, I was in tears.
Oh,
I was
cried.
in tears.
I bawled.
But it was not tears of like, oh, poor her, poor her. No. It was Jesus Christ. Look at the empowerment that this woman is exemplifying. She is owning every single bit of her shit, and she's putting it out on the table at the Opera House and saying, I'm not doing this anymore.
People came for comedy, and they got a whole other thing.
They got an education.
I watched it. I bawled because of the same reason, but it inspired me. I was like, you know what? My God, one of my bucket list things is I want to do a one-woman show someday. I don't know if I'll ever have the guts to do it and go there like she did.
I mean,
but I kind of really want to now and think I could probably get there because I'm so inspired by her. Just, I mean, no holes barred.
None.
It's so raw and it's so beautiful in its truth. And I guess maybe the absence of truth that we have right now.
Right.
It was really welcoming to watch.
Yeah, it was.
It was so refreshing.
It was. And one of the last things that she says, there is nothing stronger than a broken woman who has rebuilt herself.
Oh, my God.
Can I get an amen?
Woo!
Amen.
Oh, my God. When I heard her say that,
I bawled.
Chills.
Bawled.
Like,
I bawled.
My skin became an electric field.
Because that is me. That is me.
That is me. That is me too.
We have rebuilt ourselves better, stronger, faster.
We're the bionic woman.
Smarter.
You know you're doing the bionic woman from the 70s.
I mean, but it's so true. It's so true. And
it's basically saying, don't even fuck with me.
Don't even think about it.
That's where I am right now.
I think it was Ruby D. It was Ruby D who said, now I'm going to have to cut you.
Exactly. Or remember, what was that movie with Kathy Bates where she was like, "Oh, I'm a blah 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 woman and I've got good insurance," or whatever. What was that line?
Oh no, fried green tomatoes.
Oh yeah.
You're thinking of fried green tomatoes.
Oh my God.
When she wrecked into that teenager in the parking lot.
We're Kathy Bates now. You realize that? We're Kathy Bates from that movie.
But I do not suffer from painful intercourse.
Oh God.
I just want to reiterate that. I'm not grinning and bearing it.
Just so you know.
So this is just a taste. You know, this is what we're doing. We're sitting here. We're talking about stuff that we're seeing. We're talking about things that, you know, and there are going to be times when we're going to talk about a show that just has no other value except to just make you laugh your butt off, or it's 10 o'clock at night and you don't want to think, but you want to be entertained.
Right.
We're going to have that too.
Of course.
But we had to talk about Hanna.
We had to talk about this.
And the name of it's, I just want to say real quick, Nannette. Right?
Nannette is the name of her comedy special on Netflix. And this is one of those times where I'm going to say, and this isn't going to happen all the time because we're very discerning viewers, but I'm going to say that this is an absolute must-see for everyone.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a lesbian. You can be a kid. You can be a mom, a dad, a whatever, a single person, anyone of any background. I think this resonates with all humans, and it is a must-see.
I agree.
It's like 50 minutes. It's not even an hour.
No, I don't think it is an hour.
And just do it. Netflix. You've already got it. You've already got your Netflix. Just do it.
Press the button.
Just do it.
What's wrong with you? Get enlightened.
It's totally brilliant.
And I felt her pain.
Oh, God.
I mean, you know, as I'm a heterosexual black woman living in America, girl, I feel your pain. All the way in Tasmania. I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. And as a woman, I feel her.
And I have talked to many men who have been destroyed by this. And when I say destroyed, I mean, in the best way. When you're having that connection with someone, when they are doing basically live theater about their own life, and you are just having a human experience with another human, and it is just bold and
I felt like she was talking to me. I mean, really, I felt like she was talking
everyone
to
feels
me
that way, and that's the brilliance of this work. I hope more people do this.
I wanted to hug her.
I know.
I mean, I really did. I wanted to just like reach out and hug her for her bravery.
Oh God.
For the moxie.
Courage.
I will never forget what she said. I will never forget what she said.
When she says that line about the strength of a woman who has rebuilt herself, I mean, it was just like, okay, you just took every person on the planet that has had to rebuild their life.
Yes.
And you spoke for them.
Right. And it's not that hell hath no fury,
right?
Like a woman's scorn.
Different. It's really different.
It's different.
It's really different.
It means something completely different. This is about empowerment. Yes. This is about I've been through the fire. Yes. And you can't take me down.
I want to add one more thing.
Yeah.
There was another moment that was just so profound for me also. And that was, she's telling the story. She was an art history major, and she tells the story about Picasso.
Oh my God.
And,
right.
And I just didn't know this stuff, And so she talks about how Picasso was a misogynist, which most people know. What is the definition of a misogynist? Okay, it's someone who hates women. Okay, so a heterosexual male misogynist is a man who hates what he desires.
The most.
That which he desires. Just let that sink in. You hate what you most desire.
We'll wait.
I mean,
let that sink in.
It kind of blew my mind.
It is a mind blower.
I'd never heard anybody say that before.
Well, I mean, I think it's so true of so many people who want women, but they despise them.
But they hate them.
And why?
So they just use them, and that's it? I mean, Alanis Morissette wrote a song about it.
Don't make me pull that one out. Because that's my girl. She got me through my first divorce, I gotta tell you. And through my first degree. She got me through my first degree.
On a tangent,
oh my God.
Jagged Little Pill is very similar.
That's like my anthem album.
She was, that's our whole thing with the 90s. But
that and Mary J. Blige.
But it's like, we're all working through our shit right now.
Right.
Everyone is. And you're all on a path, and no one's perfect. But it takes serious courage to heal yourself. So complete kudos to the people out there who are brave enough to take the risk.
And who are doing the work.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine what it's like for her now, because she took that show on tour after that first one that was taped at the Sydney Opera House. She's been on tour with it. I think I just saw her on, I think she was on Jimmy Fallon. And she was so funny. You can look her up on all the different talk shows. And I think she had 2 more shows left. And she was just like, my God, I'm tired.
I bet she is tired. When you watch this, you will feel it. You will feel the energy from Australia.
Yeah. Which is about the furthest place away from us that we could ever imagine.
So check her out. Nannette, Netflix. And then when you're done, 5-star that bitch.
Yeah, let us know how you feel on Facebook.
Yeah. Hit us up. Front Row Divas on Facebook. Front Row Divas on Twitter.
Front Row Divas on Instagram?
I didn't do Instagram. Let us know. Should we do Instagram as well?
Oh, I think we should. I'm totally into it now.
I'm not a picture. Let me take a picture of my food person.
I am totally into the Insta now. So I'm into it.